Yeah,
I hit his precious button.
Welcome to Reckoning Brothers, everybody. I'm Mark.
I'm Scott.
Are you sure?
I was trying to make a fucking joke and I fucked up, so it just sounded like. Sorry, it was my I'm Ron Burgundy moment there.
And you are?
I'm Josh.
What are you drinking, Josh?
Nothing at the moment.
That's why you sound so off. You sound like you got on here and like is a high school principal joining us. Like you just had that kind of vibe going on. It's like, okay, because you haven't had anything
good,
to drink.
Doesn't he, though? He looks good.
Yeah, you actually look really well put together. No, it more like a high school football coach.
He does look like a high school. He looks like a high school football coach that just got back from a camping trip, where of course he got bitten by ticks and fleas and don't ever drink blood again. But it's good to see you, Josh.
Lots of mosquitoes. Yes, thank you.
Did you get AIDS from the blood?
Just
from
what's vile.
Okay, that's not so bad.
Yeah,
you'll get AIDS from something.
Scott, it's good to see you. You're in California. You're in sunny California.
Mm-hmm.
You're wearing a shirt that looks like you live in California. I like that shirt. Let me see it. Let me see more of it.
It's like waves, man. Check it out.
I know. It's like perfect SoCal.
It's like a painting.
It's like a Japanese artist that does paintings like that.
It kind of has that Japanese vibe going on, man. I dig it. I totally dig it. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say you're hotter than a crack pipe in the Sahara.
Thanks, man. I don't even want to make a comment. I'm just gonna say thank you every time.
Scott,
I think that'll work.
Ovens use you to make nachos. Scott, you're hotter than a space heater at a roadhouse in Phoenix.
Thank you, sir. Well, while I might not agree with what you say, I would fight to the death for your right to say it.
You're why McDonald's ice cream machines don't work.
Oh.
God damn it, that was actually funny.
Scott, you're so hot I dry my hands under you in men's rooms.
Oh, you told me this one. I have a response. Fuck. I'm slow today. I didn't sleep well last night. You said that joke to me. Oh, and I said, just like the blower at the men's room, I'm going to spread disease on you. Yes, that's what it was. I love when I barely remember jokes I made days ago. Yeah, this is the way that it goes.
Jacuzzi's newest model is called the Scott Tub. Scott Springs, Arkansas.
If you just say the rhymes with the Scott and Hot thing, you could go on for like decades and be here for.
That's the whole thing. Will.
Fireworks use you to burn their fingers off, Scott.
There, you definitely have like 3 or 4 formulas on these that you're going back to, and but I appreciate you, man. I appreciate it.
The Scottatoriums of Auschwitz.
What? Too soon.
Oh.
Too soon. Alligator Auschwitz is still going on. So I came in with nothing today. I'm just on a few hours of sleep, but I'm like, you know what? I'm going to pull my shit together. I'm going to do my best.
We have everybody from the United States Senators to Brian Stelter, CNN, all the networks, everybody freaking out about Stephen Colbert being canceled. And the funniest part about the whole thing is their whole narrative is he's being canceled because the mean orange man, because it's over politics, and and because the network is kowtowing to the mean orange man, which is hilarious because he's going to be on the air for another year. Like if they wanted to silence Stephen Colbert, they would have canceled his show and he wouldn't be on the air for another year. But it's like CBS.
When have networks ever caved to the orange man? Like ever? When has like an ABC or NBC
Well, this is Paramount, right? Didn't they just have a lawsuit lost against him?
Paramount lost the lawsuit. Yeah.
I don't know anything about this, but I imagine he's been declining in ratings, right? Because basically Gutfeld has good ratings and everybody else sucks across the board.
Yeah, the ratings are okay, but he's losing. It's been losing $40 million a year for like ever.
Ah, okay.
So if you're losing $40 million a year, you're not going to stay. So the network said it was a financial decision, not a political one. And everybody immediately said, "You're lying! You're lying! It's a political one. It's the Orange Man. You're silencing Stephen Colbert. He's a truth teller. He's a brave truth teller." which is
The best part of Stephen Colbert is Stephen Colbert 20 years ago when he was actually hilarious.
when he was actually funny.
The
Yeah,
Colbert Report was freaking
it
great.
was.
Do you remember that?
Oh, it
It
was
was
amazing.
so funny.
Well, yeah, it was before he got unhinged and and became a one-trick pony, which was Trump, 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 Trump,
Yeah.
right?
At
So
least,
I mean,
correct me if I'm wrong, but unlike Jimmy Kimmel, he at least never cried when talking about Trump. Am I right?
you're right.
He had that going for him.
So,
But yeah, other than that, it's just the dancing vaccines and all that. It was just the most cringy, just corporate show.
and as
It was,
usual, and
He
as
does talk about
usual,
Lord of the Rings a lot. Tolkien.
and as usual, I'm going to just bring in some facts here. So, part of what drove the prices up so high was the excitement about the potential for a younger audience, especially compared to the crowd former Late Show host David Letterman drew. According to Magna Global, Letterman's average viewer was 60 years old. The average Colbert Report audience age was 44. Right, so that was then. This is now. Another road is if Colbert decides to launch his own talk or interview show, whether on a podcast or YouTube. The average age of a Colbert viewer now, guess what it is?
65.
Yeah.
68. 68.
Jeez.
Right.
It's basically like cable news. Like,
Right, which perhaps says more about CBS's audience than it does about Colbert's. But
yeah.
it also makes it a bit tougher to imagine Colbert hustling viewers to smash and subscribe smash that like and subscribe button, because, I mean,
What's the equivalent of that when you're like smash that, go to your doctor and ask them to put you on the drug for the commercial you saw on the Colbert Report? Like, what's
right?
the equivalent? Like, what is? I kind of understand how the economics of TV works, like the basic layman shit, but it's like they're all advertised by pharmaceutical companies and like, uh, fuck, what else advertises on TV? I haven't watched
Well,
TV in fucking forever.
if he does a YouTube podcast, it's going to be the advertisements you're going to get are every 3 minutes are going to be drink this kind of vinegar so you don't get prostate cancer,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Something catering to geriatrics. This is also going to set a precedent for the other shows that are on there. It's Kimmel and I don't remember the other ones, but this kind of media is going away. We have instant gratification with Netflix and Max and all these apps. Why would we need this?
If you want to watch a talk show, why would you not watch somebody doing it independently on YouTube? They're probably going to be way better. They're going to have the freedom to do whatever they want. You're going to be able to pick whatever suits your niche. I can't see how any of these late night talk shows can compete. Gutfield's going to have it for a while because for whatever reason, he's kind of got that thing going on. But even his show, it just has a...
He's funny. He's legitimately funny. And so are his
I've only
programs.
seen him being interviewed by Momar, but he was really good on that. I will give him that. I don't have Fox. Why would I watch it when I could watch YouTube with these personalities that I find better than things on cable
People don't
TV?
realize it, man. Colbert's show had $150 million production budget. $150 million. The guy made $20 million a year and it was losing $40 million a year. Like, if you paid him nothing, it wouldn't make up for the $20 million a year shortfall. They have 100 people on staff at that show. 100 people. You can contrast that with Gutfeld, which probably has 4 producers and maybe 5 or 6 staffers, if that, right? And the production budget certainly is nowhere remotely near $150 million.
And they're probably using something from another show. The producers kind of carry over. They do part time on one show and part time on another. So I'm sure they're shared resources too.
So I just want to read to you something from the CBS News. He's either the White House correspondent or the national news correspondent. His name's Jonathan Martin. The end of federal funding should be the cue for foundations plus wealthy individuals of all stripes to step in and undergird a nonprofit model for PBS and NPR. This refers to PBS and NPR not getting any more federal money. And not just the big kids on the block, but the smaller and less populous markets. And while you're at it, rescue Gannett and McClatchy and other newspaper chains and create a trust to keep them going. You will do far more to sustain democracy than dumping money into a super PAC. Now, there's just so many things wrong with that. For one thing,
correct me if I'm wrong, but don't we already have public television, public radio? Isn't that basically what they're suggesting? Why would that not be what that is when they create that?
So, yeah, like we do. Yeah, we absolutely do. And it gets rightly mocked for its consistently, left-wing bias. And
yeah, but they used to have some good shit. And apparently some of it's coming back around, which is great to hear. They were stuck in intersectionalist nonsense, and it was so bad for so long. It's nice to...
No, it's still bad. It's still bad.
That's it.
Right, yeah.
I was afraid that was the truth. I'm not going to listen to it because, as before, why would you listen to any of that stuff when you could get a podcast or a YouTube video that's going to be far superior? Because someone has a freedom to do what they want, and production costs are next to nothing. We're able to do this, and we spent like $75.
Yeah, and you have all the elite wealthy progressives like complaining about no NPR funding, no PBS funding from the government. So NPR gets like 2% of its money from the government. PBS or NPR gets like 15%. Now, if the wealthy progressives want to make up that shortfall, they can do it. Right? Put your money where your mouth is. If you really, really, really think that a 15% shortfall in money is going to ruin it, because everybody uses the hyperbole, the words like defunding, et cetera, et cetera. Yes, it's been defunded by the government, but it's not been defunded. Like, it's 15%. Like, if you're there's not a single business or household on this planet that if it runs into a 15% shortfall is going to perish. It's just not.
My household would. Done for. I spend my money foolishly. We'd be fucked. Well,
yeah, I do too.
And I think it was funny. You mentioned something. You said something hilarious, which is you hinted a progressive might put their money where their mouth is, which is just funny. That's just hilarious to me. I don't think I've ever seen that happen one time. Like, you know what I always think is funny? You know, the signs, the "In this house we believe" signs.
Yeah.
I always wanted to go up there and be like, oh, do you have an immigrant living in your house, right? You're sponsoring someone from a third world to live here, right? Because you're not just saying you want tax money, you want other people's money to pay for this. You're actually willing to sacrifice something yourself, right? Because if you're not, your fucking sign means absolutely jack fucking shit. So you're sacrificing something, right?
Yeah.
And I bet the answer 98% of the time is no.
So you just said something interesting that I would comment on. Progressive putting their money where their mouths are, and you being way on the other side of the country probably don't know this, Mark. I don't know if you know this, but the real estate market in Yellow Springs is astronomical.
Not surprising. Not surprising in the slightest.
Their money.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, everybody there is like super, super well-to-do.
Yeah.
Literally everybody. And it used to be a place where college kids could afford to rent an apartment or even buy a house.
Not anymore.
Like, oh no, it's like an enclave. It's an enclave of like far left progressivism, with the boutique cafes, the vegan smoothie places, on and on.
Peach is still there. I used to love that bar.
Yeah.
And it's a nice little place. I like going there. It's a quaint little town. People are nice. Dave Chappelle lives there. Right?
True. Yeah.
And but yeah, the university there is just like far left, super commie. Yeah, it's a progressive enclave that attracted so many wealthy progressives who bought up so many houses that nobody else but a wealthy person can live there
now. Supply and demand, man. What you gonna do?
The other thing I wanted to say about NPR is people don't remember. People have selective amnesia. NPR refused to cover the Hunter Biden laptop story because they insisted that it was Russian disinformation. So they literally made it a public statement that they weren't going to they weren't going to put any more news up on Twitter, and they weren't going to cover the Hunter Biden laptop story because they didn't want to participate in a story that was Russian disinformation. And this was after everything about the laptop story that was in the New York Post and other news outlets was deemed to be verifiably true, right?
So, do you think there's something inherent about being in a political world, being a political person like NPR people, and not apologizing and admitting when you make a mistake? They seem to go hand in hand. I don't think I can't really think of anyone. This ain't a right or left thing either. This is across the fucking board. If you're just politicized, you can't ever admit when you're wrong. Even drag kicking and screaming with the evidence in front of you. It's so pathetic and off-putting, man. Like it's imagine being that way to people in like your personal life. You'd be one of those pariahs that everyone's like, oh, that's fucking Johnny. He just lies about everything. You know, he's a pathological liar. You know, don't trust that guy.
And never apologize for anything. Being able to apologize and have some humility should cross every political line, and I've never had a problem with it.
Yeah.
I am the very first person that will say, you know what, I'm sorry I was wrong about that.
And think about how good it makes you. Like, even if someone has the opposite politics of me, if they're willing to do that, they're almost automatically a cool person in my book.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? When they're like, oh yeah, it's just like, oh, that just cuts across what you believe about how much the government should be involved in whatever fucking issue.
Yeah,
if you can do that, admit when you're wrong, be like, oh, that was my mistake. I was completely wrong.
Yeah, to me, that's tantamount to if you're the progressive leftists that some of whom I know that drive an electric car and live in a and make an effort to like downsize their carbon footprint, et cetera, et cetera.
They don't just have the sign in their yard. They do put their money where their mouth is. Yeah.
Right. But if you're Al Gore and you're spewing all that stuff and you just purchased a $18 million oceanside property in Martha's Vineyard that uses more electricity and energy in a week than every American's house does in a month, then
if you have a private jet at all, you're not allowed to talk about climate change. I think we should just agree across the world. As soon as you have a private jet, you're not allowed to open your mouth about climate change, period.
Barack Obama has two oceanside residences. He literally ran on, we're going to stop the rising seas. It was in his inaugural address. We're going to stop the rising seas. And then he purchased, and you have built. I mean, even worse than just purchasing an already built mansion, he expropriated land in Maui to build a new mansion oceanside in Maui.
Like, expect a former U.S. president to have only 2 oceanside mansions. I mean, what are we? What are we?
Plus the house in D.C. So yeah. And then the other thing about NPR ran so many ridiculous stories. Like somebody did a thread of give us your most ridiculous NPR stories. And one of my friends put up, so this was a great one, and I want to scroll to get it exact, but it was during the BLM riots, and it was a black
peaceful protest.
Yeah, it was a black woman with a child in the car who was getting surrounded by a mob, and people ended up shooting, and the NPR story framed it as white supremacists were attacking this woman, and it was just like, come the fuck on. And then like this one here, transgender toddlers at age 3 transitioning from Jack to Jackie, right? There's no such thing as a transgender toddler, and if you're doing stories about transgender toddlers, you're going to get mocked. I'm sorry, you're going to get fucking mocked.
You could, in all fairness, dress up a toddler to be transgender. I mean that's possible.
What's
But
that
it's
thing? Like a transgender toddler is like a vegan cat. The problem is the
you
owner.
know what? That's actually a really good comparison.
It's
Yes,
like
the cat
everybody.
doesn't want it. The cat has no choice, but the cat's got to eat vegan. Yeah, yeah. No, that's pretty much exactly it. Amen, sister. Um,
So, Scott, tell tell us about tell us about your most recent car trip where you saw. So once again, and here we are 6 months out from the fires in California, and I saw some video the other day, and like they still can't even get the lots cleaned up. Like
no, they've
people,
started some cleanup, but most of that is people paying independently. The Army Corps of Engineers had people out there. There's been some cleanup, but it's so ridiculously slow, and basically no reconstruction, like at all. 6 months later, like none. People are still dealing with insurance, dude. The California Fair Plan and the insurance is an absolute nightmare. They weren't paying off hardly anything, and people are having to
Hey,
fight.
California Fair Plan.
California Fair Plan's basically an insurance program that covers people that can't be covered by other insurance companies because they've all kind of pulled out or won't cover the area.
Wow.
So it's like a insurance of last resort. So they're underfunded. They don't have enough money to pay anything. But I've dealt with these people directly through my work, and it is comically bad. It's really sad. If you have California Fair Plan, you just hire a fucking lawyer. That's all that you can do, and hope that you can eventually get money. But they're still not paying people out. I guess they were sued. I think went to the Supreme Court a couple weeks ago, so they've started kind of paying people out. But it's a bad situation. It's a bad situation. Nothing's starting. Basically, everywhere you go, almost looks like it did 6 months ago.
that's
So
just
let me ask you. I'm assuming there's a massive displacement of people. Where are they going? Is it shelters? Is it
I don't think there's many people in shelters because if you can afford to live, even in Altadena, you can afford to get someplace. And I think they're paying out ALE, the additional living expenses, when you can't stay there. It's being paid to build back your house. That's the issue. So I'm sure they're paying for housing, but I guess just got to find a fucking rental house somewhere. It's not fun for these people, man.
so.
I've dealt with them.
Staying on the subject of California, do you like In-N-Out Burger?
Yeah, it's one of the best. It's wonderful.
So
Yeah.
they're moving their headquarters from Irvine to Tennessee because
Because it's California, and who wants to start a business here? Yeah, or run a business here, even if they've started it here. Yeah, it's a problem. We have a issue with management of our state, and it's pathetic. We could have the most beautiful state in the country, wonderful people, wonderful stuff going on, but so poorly led. Yeah, I do not have a lot of hope for California in some ways and do in others, but we are led poorly. Our regulations are bad. It's not fun to pay all of this huge amounts of money when you know there's so much ineptitude going on. I don't know. Is it corruption in the government that causes this, or is it ineptitude, or is it just cluelessness? I don't know. Mark, you know about this stuff. I just know it's fucked,
Isn't
but I
there
don't know the reasons why.
some pretty bad DEI hiring practices there too?
I mean, yeah, and I guess that's kind of baked
That's an
in.
aptitude, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's things that's part of the problem is there's things more important than merit to people out here. And that's a huge issue. Merit should, of course, be number one. The best person at the job should have the job. I'm preaching to the choir here, talking to you two. That's obvious that we all know this. But yeah, people out here don't notice it because it's more important the way that people look and the color of their skin or who they prefer to fuck or whether or not they've had their dick chopped off and had a vagina put in or vice versa. This stuff is more important to many, many people here than whether or not a person is good at their job. Because apparently, you know what that does? It rights all the wrongs of the past. If you look at the world that way, I don't know if you guys knew this, but if you hire a trans person, it washes away the sins of America. I don't know if you
yeah,
guys knew this.
yeah, it's retroactive moralism,
Yeah.
but
It makes it all go away.
look
Slavery
how-
never had. If we can hire 3,000 more trans people for the U.S. government, slavery basically would have never happened.
Correct.
So let's get on it.
Yeah.
Let's get on it.
I am often engaged in conversations about, the sins of the past, and it really is. And I've said this before, and it bears repeating. Slavery and conquering were ubiquitous. Were no, I'm just sick of I'm just sick of retroactive moralism. There's not a single corner of this planet that where people from hundreds of years ago were abiding by today's standards. We're not special.
Yeah.
We're just not, right? So I'm sick of hearing about it. I'm over it. Nobody alive had anything to do with any of that shit.
I don't think I've asked you this before, Mark.
Yeah.
Do you think people that are into retroactive moralism, people that put things above merit for whether or not a person should have a job, do you think if they spent more time thinking we're all animals, right? Every single human being is an animal created through evolution, right? That might help them realize that they can be full of shit. You know what I'm saying? So like,
it's a really interesting.
I think it helps me not be overly confident and help me be like, wait, maybe I'm being something stupid because I am an animal. I am a monkey swinging through the trees, essentially, right? I think it helps. I think it would help a lot of these people.
I think it helps. I can't say it often enough. Nobody alive had anything to do with it. Nobody alive had anything.
You actually did. You did have a little bit to do with slavery, for being honest.
I stared at. I've stared at least three.
They called him Auction Block Mark. That was
I've stared at least three statues of King George III, who burned alive my ancestors, and it didn't bother me. I don't give a fuck. Right? It was 300 years ago, and I don't care. Nobody alive had anything to do with it. King George III has been dead for 200 and something years. It doesn't affect me. I don't know why, for God's sake.
Because grifters can make money off of telling people, hey, look, your problems, they're not this.
Your problems are because somebody else is a billionaire. Your problems are because something happened to the group you identify with, or advocating on behalf for, because of what happened years ago. Yes, slavery and the slaughtering of indigenous peoples was bad. Nobody says that it wasn't. Nobody.
I think it's also important. It's also not necessarily your fault that shit's going bad for you, but it's not the easy packaged. Oh, it's the billionaires. It's people are just bringing you down because of the color of your skin. It's not that prepackaged thing. There's a lot of really complicated reasons. Yeah, some of it might be yours, but there can be things that are beyond you that aren't your fault that are helping to make shit in your life suck.
That's absolutely true, and you only have to do I've worked with the Center for Neighborhood Enterprise. I worked with them for 42 years, right? Whether it's a kid growing up in the ghetto or a kid growing up in Appalachia, that's growing up poor with no good role models around, no good schools, drugs on the corner, zero supervision, nothing but desperation and bad things going on around you. Of course, those social factors, are a huge impediment to somebody in that environment succeeding. It's that doesn't, none of that has anything to do with what happened 200 years ago. That has everything to do with what's happening now.
If people understood that the person that's giving you the answer, the easier the answer is, the more full of shit they are, and the more they're probably trying to get some money or influence or something from you.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
I agree.
Josh, would you agree? You've been letting us talk, but I think it's because your microphone was messing up.
Yeah, I was just keeping it muted. I didn't know if it was causing the problem or not.
It was, but I forgive you.
I'm gonna get me a microphone.
Sounds okay now.
I'm gonna get me a microphone. I want to.
I
be
think
cool
you should get one with like the little flag on it that makes it look like you work at a radio station. I
I'm
think
gonna
that would
get
be
one
cool.
shaped like a penis.
All microphones are shaped like a penis. That's just I can't think of one that's not. It's just what kind of penis you want. I chose a girthy one because of course I was thinking microphone. I wanted to be shaped like the right kind of penis I would like in me, so I chose girth. Josh's is more skinny and long. I think is the
And
microphone that he picked.
Josh's microphone is
Oh, I
it's
stand corrected.
yeah, it's circumcised. Look at it. You can see the whole tip.
Yeah, what's with your? We're getting probably closer to the end. Do you have fun internet questions, or I'm sorry,
I
AI
do,
questions or
but
something?
Mark's gonna roll his eyes, so I don't even know why I'm
Oh,
trying.
please, no, that makes me want to hear it even more. Please.
All right, we're gonna play a little game. It's called overrated versus underrated. It's a lightning round. Okay. Anyway, so overrated versus underrated. We're just gonna go through food and drinks real quick. So avocado
Okay.
toast, overrated, underrated.
Overrated.
Overrated. Wait, what'd you say, Mark?
Overrated.
Yeah, agreed, 100%.
I'm not
Yeah.
sticking that thing in my mouth.
Okay. All right.
I've stuck that thing in my mouth before, and it's not as bad, but it's like people want to think it's like this, like Jesus Christ himself came down
It's
and was like,
gross.
"This is dude,
I'd rather
this
suck
is
dick.
a new water into wine."
Okay. So I like it, but I like guacamole too. What's your opinion on that?
I think guac is overrated as a
Guac
dip.
is
I would go
overrated.
salsa all the
Okay.
time.
No, you guys are just retarded. All right. Moving on. IPAs versus light beer.
Light beer is better just because IPAs are horrible, and drinking them should be punishment left to people in the gulag. Mark, what do you think?
Agreed.
IPAs are gross.
Yeah, just that whole craze of
Like,
IPAs.
if you want to give yourself bad breath, just drink an IPA.
I think it's worse than Hitler and Stalin put together is the IPA craze.
Okay, that's
It's
a
fucking
bit
awful.
much, but the grapefruit that's in those, they've taken it and ran with it.
It's
All right.
gross.
You know, it's IPA stands for India Pale Ale. India Pale Ale, and I think it was created super hoppy so it would survive the trip from India to Europe. I may be wrong, but so it was made just to be able to stay on a fucking ship longer.
Okay. Next one. Bacon on everything.
Underrated.
I don't even like
Fucking
bacon on
communist.
everything. No,
You fucking communist.
I love bacon, but I don't even put it on. I'm not even a fan of bacon on cheeseburgers. Like everybody loves bacon cheeseburgers, and I'm not
Oh.
super
Cut
opposed.
his mic off. Cut his mic.
I'm not super opposed to bacon cheeseburgers, but I like
What?
ketchup on cheeseburgers, and somehow
What?
I don't.
Oh my god, no!
Yeah.
I thought we were friends, dude.
What
And
do
then
you
you
do?
start saying this stuff about bacon being bad on things and putting ketchup on your burger.
You
What
don't put
the?
ketchup on your burger. What do you put?
No, God,
Mayonnaise?
no. Over ketchup, yeah, but I prefer mustard. Maybe some sriracha mayo or something like that.
No,
Garlic
God.
aioli.
Yeah, I just don't want any ketchup on bacon. So
Okay. Moving on. Pineapple
Fair
on.
enough.
pineapple on
What?
pizza,
Yeah.
punishable by
Awful.
death.
What'd you say, Mark? Sorry.
Punishable by death.
Agree. Yeah. I'm near to where you're at. This
Yeah.
just
It's
yeah. Let's put a fruit on a pizza. Like, what the fuck is this? Why?
Why?
All right. Mark, this one's directed at you. Craft coffee versus regular coffee. What's your go-to?
Oh, Seattle's best. I
No,
love
you
it.
get the little one that's like a packed like espresso that you get sometimes. The yellow packet.
Bustelo.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't buy to like Maxwell House or Folgers or anything like that. I pay a little bit extra for a Seattle's Best, a Starbucks Italian roast, etc. Yeah, I like good coffee. I like it black, very strong, and so it has to be high quality. I will never again ever purchase a Kroger brand or a Maxwell House, Chase and Sanborn, Folgers, etc. Ever, and unless it were the only thing on the shelf, would I ever buy any of that stuff?
You're very snooty about your coffee. Scott, what's you?
I agree, although I prefer a lighter roast to a darker roast, but always black. And yeah, it's worth spending a little bit more for the good stuff.
What about people that put the cream and sugar in? Is that also punishable by death?
It's not punishable by death, but you should be fined heavily, I think.
All right. Last one. Um, Food trucks versus restaurants.
Restaurants, yeah, food trucks are overrated.
I don't like. I'm not crazy about food. I got food poisoning off a food truck. I'm not crazy about them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
see this.
all I got for food and drinks. Next time we have entertainment, technology, lifestyle, and trends, pop culture, and sports and activities. So we got more of these. So
Oh,
Did you say trans pop culture?
I think so. I think it said trans pop culture. What is trans pop culture?
I didn't say trans. I said trends.
Okay.
Trends.
Okay.
Trends.
All right. So you're not going to ask us a question about trans pop culture because I was
No,
kind of looking forward to that.
because
Okay. All right. Well, guess we'll pass.
Mark's embedded too deep in there, so he would just.
He would smoke me if it were a contest. Yeah. I didn't realize we should do one of these as a contest. So Mark can we make it about politics. So Mark can stomp me into the fucking ground, make me look like a jackass.
We'll do a crossfire segment one time where we just go at it, just like mud wrestle over like some issue that we disagree
Can
on.
I do the William F. Buckley kind of fake European sound and East Coast accent?
No, I get to do that. I will also have all your arguments.
Called dibs.
I'll also have all your arguments between the crosshairs of my superior annihilative intellect.
You're going to spend more time in this stuff than me, but I feel like if we can prepare and I can do some kind of research, then we might.
Oh yeah, I'll let you know what it is, but I'm not going to give you enough time to research it because I want to kick your ass.
So next week is
Fair enough. I can't argue with that.
it's a debate. We're doing a debate next week.
I don't know if it'll be next week, but it'll be soon. Fantastic.
That sounds good.
In the meantime, I'm just going to keep a low profile and defend the American way of life. Scott, it was good to talk to you.
Good to
Josh,
talk to you.
I miss you.
I miss your smile. I miss your touch. I miss your kiss on my forehead before I go to sleep.
And with that, we're going to end it. Have a good night, everybody.